Welcome to my exotic garden in southern Ontario, Canada, Zone 5B. I grow many tropical and subtropical plants. Many are very unusual for the region. Different palms, cordylines, and a few things that might surprise you. Let's have a look at some of the exotics that I do grow. We'll start with the front garden and move our way to the back. In the flower beds against the house, we have Livistona chinensis, Chinese fan palm. This is the red shrimp plant. It's currently about 5 feet tall. These flower beds are enclosed through the winter and are heated. There are many more plants which I have not mentioned by name, but I will try to add some text at the bottom of the screen. This is the white bird of paradise. Currently it's over 13 feet. Each leaf is just getting massive. I'll have to do an update video to show its progress. Next to that we have a grapefruit tree. I believe it's called flame red. Next to that we have a Brugmansia. It's a yellow flowering form. Each year it reaches over 13 feet tall. The base of it is over 6 inches in diameter. We have the flowering ginger. This is shell ginger, Alpinia Zerumbet. Several tropical bulbs. In the flower beds on the right hand side, against the house we have Cordyline Australis. This is the green form. It's way past the roof line of the house after about 4 years. Beautiful Sago palm, Cordyline red star, orange bird of paradise, 2 Pindo palms, one large palm about 12 foot tall and the other one's just over 5 feet tall. Another large Sago palm. We have an Agave Americana. It's becoming a real beast of a plant. It's simply massive. I also grow several varieties of caladium. This one is called Red Flash. The leaves are intensely colorful, mixtures of red, green, and silvery highlights. When backlit with full sun, it's a really dramatic looking plant. It's a real wonderful thing to have in the garden. These are red New Guinean patience. They prefer semi-shade, but they will tolerate a fair bit of direct sun as well. Other tropicals I grow include anthurium. These will flower for several weeks, if not months. The flowers themselves are actually the inconspicuous center portion, which is yellow. The red is actually a modified leaf. I also grow crinum lilies. This variety is called Crinum Maurelii. It started as one single bulb, and after about 20-25 years it has spread, multiplied, and I've divided them. Large pink flowers. It started as one bulb many years ago, and now there are dozens and dozens of flower stems every year. In the flower beds along the driveway we have many exotics as well. We have several large Trachycarpus Fortunei palms, simply massive green form of Cordyline Australis. In the flower beds along the driveway we have Ensete Maurelii, the red banana. It grows very, very quickly, very exotic, beautiful looking plant. We have Bougainvillea, many tropical bulbs. I believe this is Agave Americana. It's not as sharp as some of the larger agaves like Americana, Montana, etc. This is Coleus Kong Red. Large velvety leaves, red maroon centers with a green fringe. Once they start to flower, it's best to pinch them off. It limits the new growth of leaves. This is Zamia furfurea, commonly called the cardboard palm. The plant gets its name from their rigid leaves. I have many large elephant ears, several varieties. This is Alocasia macrorrhiza. This elephant ear is Taro Colocasia esculenta. The more water and feed you give it, the taller it gets. Currently it's well over 4 feet tall. The ones that aren't watered or taken care of as well are considerably smaller. These are gorgeous plants. This plant is commonly called yellow oleander, but it is not an oleander. It's the Vetia peruviana, beautifully scented flowers, kind of a peachy color. I grow many varieties of canna. Many of these were grown from seed. So because they were cross-pollinated, they don't have a true name as such. This year they're being attacked by Japanese beetles. I also grow several named varieties of cannas. These cannas are called tropical white. They're just over 2 feet tall. These are tropical red. It's a very vigorous plant, grows reliably through the summer, multiplies quickly, and the flowers are just never ending. And then we have this yellow flowering canna. This canna is a result of seed that was produced last year. The seed had fallen into the soil, overwintered, germinated this spring, and is now of flowering size. We have Datura inoxia. From one tiny seed you get this massive bush 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. These are 4 o'clocks. Jalapa mirabilis. It's a beautiful magenta fuchsia color. I grow several varieties of plumeria. Extremely fragrant, gorgeous flowers. Really adds a tropical touch. I grow several varieties of Kufia. They are supposed to attract hummingbirds, but I haven't seen any yet. They bloom reliably throughout the season as well. I also grow several varieties of Hawaiian tea plants. They add a real splash of color, just the foliage is intense. It's really a beautiful sight, especially when backlit. They will tolerate full sun, but they can also be grown in semi-shade. I also grow several varieties of philodendron. This one is Siloam Hope. I also dot the garden with extreme tropicals like this Monstera deliciosa. Gives it a real tropical look. I grow many varieties of hibiscus, Rosa sinensis. This is a double-flowered, orangey peach-colored one with deeply ruffled flowers. This red hibiscus I've had for over 30 years. It's a full-size tree, well over 7 feet tall. In this variety, it's a clear yellow. It was started from seed decades ago. It's also a fairly large tree, approaching 7 foot tall. This yellow flower is the popcorn senna. If you rub the leaves, it has a distinct smell of buttered popcorn. What else is of interest here? This is gigantea, Moses in the cradle. I love the beautiful green leaves with the purple underside. So this concludes our brief look at the front garden. Thank you for joining in. Please join me next time for part 2 in the back garden. More palm trees, exotics, and more tropical plants. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. Happy gardening.